Hi, this is Mike Scher. I'm a Senior Application Engineer with Stonebranch. Welcome to the Universal Automation Center User Experience Update. We're going to have a look at all the great new interface changes in version 7.2 of the Universal Controller. In this release, we have made the UX more modern and simple to use without sacrificing functionality. Let's begin by connecting to our controller. The first thing you will see is that the login screen is a bit different. It shows the version and build number of your controller. Just enter your username and password and the interface starts. The new interface has a new, simpler look to make it visually more appealing. There are two themes, light and dark, which can be changed globally or by individual users. If you already had a theme set in a previous version, it will be converted automatically. We recommend that you try both themes to find your favorite. Let's have a look at the dark theme. I'm going to change it by going to my User Preferences menu and then selecting User Interface Theme. After submitting the change, I'm prompted to refresh the browser. Now I'll quickly go back to the light scheme. Another thing you will notice throughout the interface is that we have updated the icons to give them a more clean and modern look. The first thing you'll note is at the top of the screen, there is no longer a banner. What you will see is a Stonebranch logo, a system identifier if one has been set, a customer logo if one has been set, and now also the services menu, which we will look at in detail shortly. Also, in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you will now find the clock. The user menu now has an option for Edit Profile, which allows the user to change some of their profile details. Next, there is a new global search field, which allows you to search the name, description, or member of business services field for any object in the controller. You can select the fields which are searched by clicking on the cog icon next to the field. The field allows the use of exact strings and the asterisk and question mark wildcards and is not case sensitive. The results show in a new window. Now for one of the biggest changes to the user experience, the services menu. The concept is that you now have a one-stop location to access all of the controller's services, and you can use it to create your own personalized list of services where the menu used to be. Initially, that area only displays the activity list and the dashboard's options. The complete list of available services is on the Services menu, which is accessed by clicking on the Services button. The Services menu is divided into two sections: Available Services and Most Recently Visited, which shows the 10 most recently used services. This number can be modified in the User Preferences. The Available Services has groupings for different types of services. Notice that there is a grouping for integrations, which includes a link to our Integration Hub website. Let's have a quick look. On this website, you will find a list of integrations which you can download with a few clicks. Next, there is a link to import integration templates. So, if you download an integration or have one sent to you, this is where you would go to import it. Let's import the Advanced Task Monitor Trigger Universal Task. And there it is on the menu. If you need to, you can refresh the contents of this menu by right-clicking anywhere in the menu and choosing Refresh. The Integrations grouping also lists SAP tasks, PeopleSoft tasks, and any universal tasks and integrations which have been added. Another thing to note is the Lifecycle Management section, where you will find the options to manage your bundles and promotion, to easily copy objects from one environment to any other as part of a DevOps methodology, for example, from a test environment to a production environment. The stars which you see next to the services indicate whether they are on your favorites list. Clicking on an empty star next to an object will add it to your favorites list. If the menu category does not yet exist, it will also be added. Watch what happens when we add various objects. This allows you to quickly and easily build a list of the objects that you frequently use for faster access. It is just as easy to remove a favorite option by either right-clicking on the entry in the Favorites list and choosing Remove, or by left-clicking on a filled star on the Services menu. When you left-click on a service, it will open in a tab in your work area. This works from your favorite list, from the Services menu, or from the recently visited list. Also note that when you hover over an option on the Services menu, a plus sign appears next to it. Clicking on this plus sign opens a new object window. Management of tabs has been made easier with the Pin and Auto options. Whenever an object is selected, its contents opens in a tab, which will either be pinned or unpinned. When a tab is pinned, it remains open until you close it. This is how it behaved in previous versions. However, when a tab is not pinned, its contents will be replaced by the next object you open. Watch as I open a list of Linux tasks, followed by a list of Windows tasks. Notice that the contents of the Linux tab is replaced by the contents of the Windows tab. If the Linux tab was pinned, it would remain open and a second tab would be opened for Windows. The user preference Pin Tabs Automatically allows you to disable this behavior. You can pin or unpin a tab after it has been opened by right-clicking on the tab and selecting Pin. It will remember to stay pinned every time you open it until you choose to unpin it. You can see that a tab is pinned when a pin symbol appears next to the tab name. I'm going to pin the Linux tab. Watch this time as I close both tabs and then open first the Linux tab, followed by the Windows tab. Notice that this time the Linux tab remained open. You may create a new tab for any object by right-clicking on the name in the Services menu or your Favorites menu and choosing Open in New Tab. Notice that doing this allows you to have more than one tab open for the same object. The Auto option, which appears when right-clicking on a tab, allows you to select which tabs will appear automatically when you log into the controller. Make a tab auto by right-clicking on the tab and selecting the Auto option. Let's make the Windows and Linux tabs open automatically whenever we log in. Now let's log out and log in again to see what happens. Here you will see that the browser opens with both of those tabs being shown already. The tab contents are now organized vertically. This provides better visibility of their contents. When you have a tab open, you will normally see a list of objects in the left pane, and in the right pane either a blank form, or if you have selected an object from the list, the contents of the selected object appears in the form. You may have already noticed that required fields have a red asterisk next to them. Notice also that the familiar button choices are still there, but they have new icons. Both the list pane and the form now have a quick expand and quick collapse button. Clicking on the expand button replaces the entire contents of the window with the selected pane, and clicking on it a second time returns it to its previous size. Let's open a workflow and see what's new. The differences in the workflow editor include new toolbar icons and new object icons. There is also a great new feature which allows us to create new tasks directly from within the editor instead of having to choose previously existing tasks. Just point to the spot where you want the task, right-click and select New Task. When you save the task, it will be created and appear where you were pointing. Now that you've created it, you can connect it to the workflow by dropping it on a connector. In this session, we have focused on the user experience. There are many other new features in this release not related to the user experience, which we encourage you to discover in the release notes. That concludes our tour of the new user experience. Thank you for joining us.